Good evening and welcome to Ascension St. Vincent Field here on the campus of Marian University. It was commencement today for all of the Knights in the class of 2026, but tonight is the top seed and 7th ranked Marian Knights taking on 10th ranked and 3 seed Lawrence Tech for the automatic bid and the championship of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Good evening, my name is Rick Johnston. And Marian had never defeated Lawrence Tech until this season, and not only did they beat the Blue Devils once, they swept them. An overtime victory in Michigan, a 4-goal victory, 13-9 here on Senior Day just a couple of weeks ago here for Allie Stork-Snead's top-seeded Marian Knights. Marian comes in 12-3 overall, 9-1 during the regular season in the WHAC. Lawrence Tech 11-6, 7-3 in conference play. Lawrence Tech demolished Aquinas 20-1 in the quarterfinal matchup to get their postseason underway, and then they ran right through 2-seed Indiana Tech 18-8 in a game that they trailed 6-4 at the end of the first quarter. They then outscored the Warriors 10-0 in the second and never looked back on their way to another tournament championship appearance here tonight. Marian got the bye as the #1 overall seed along with Indiana Tech into the semis, and they shut out Bethel for the first time in over a year. Second year in a row that the Knights have shut out an opponent. They won 17-0 against the Pilots. So here we go from Ascension St. Vincent Field. The winner tonight knows they'll be playing in the national tournament of the NAI. The loser will have to hope for an at-large bid when seeding, and those bids are announced in about a week or so. It's McKenna Van Zant in the draw circle for Lawrence Tech, and she leads the Blue Devils in that category, and she gets the better of Marian's top draw taker in Ruby Mason here to start. Officials tonight, Emily Reveille, Liz Wiley, and Martin Spees. Ryan King is our alternate official here tonight. Blue Devils with the opening possession. They're in the road blue jerseys and shorts with the white numbers and the white letters. Marian defends in the black. Lawrence Tech sports, the #1 offense in the WHAC this year. They lead the conference in total goals, scoring 225 this year, and goals per game averaging 14. Marian gives up the fewest total goals on the year as a shot goes wide there from the Blue Devils. They've only allowed 110 this season. That's 5th best in the entire NAIA. Lawrence Tech also leads the conference in shots, but they turn it away here on a pass intercepted by S. Beatty Montez. Sophomore has had a breakout year this year for the youngster out of Indianapolis. Second-team all-conference pick named earlier this week as Delaney Coles starts the clear here for top seed Marian. Bozeman 2 goals and 2 assists in the romp against Bethel earlier this week. And right now, Talia Newell getting face-guarded everywhere she goes as Tiana Thomas, 6 in blue, watches her every movement. Bozeman trying to get around the defender. Left-hand shots in, and Marian strikes first. Bozeman able to get to that off left hand after cradling with the right. Got the step on Mari Pellman. And Bozeman makes it 1-0 Knights on her 12th goal of the year. So Bozeman goals in back-to-back contests, 12 for her, for the junior. Back-to-back second-team all-conference pick this year. Back to the draw circle where we find Van Zant and Mason once again. Mason trying to get some help from one of her teammates, but it'll be Van Zant on the ground ball, and Lawrence Tech wins the first 2 draws here tonight. They had a shot go wide, and then they turned it over right in the middle of the critical scoring area, and that sent Marian the other way onto the first goal of the night. Here's Morgan Valigora. Pass out in front. Shot goes high. The attempt there was from Pellman. Backed up by LTU, and the Blue Devils reset. Audrey Durham at the point. And she lobs it behind goal line extended to the first-team all-conference pick in Jocelyn Vanderswag. Into traffic in front. Sweeping at it was Alex Dean, and the older of the Dean sisters scoops it up, and here comes Marian on their second caused turnover in as many possessions against Lawrence Tech to start the championship game off. Bozeman at the controls, a successful clear here for Marian. Has the step on volley Gora, pushed away by Vanderswag. Montez dropped it, picks it right back up, right before the defender could pounce. Montez down the right alley, shoots off balance, and that one stopped by Madison Gugala. Sophomore from Northville, Michigan, leads the WHAC in goals against average at 7.67. And she's also top 5 in both goals allowed and goals against average in the entire NAIA. So the high-octane offense backed up by one of the top netminders in the country for Lawrence Tech. It's Anaya Jones on the other end here for Marian. She is yet to be tested tonight because of those 2 poor passes by the Lawrence Tech offense. Another long-range attempt there. Jada Taylor giving chase, who's been dealing with injuries for the majority of the season. Good hustle there by Allison Wallenczak, the WHAC's Offensive Player of the Year. Top 10 in 3 different offensive categories. But a charging violation called here against LTU. And Marian will have an opportunity to clear here from the defensive end with Grace Kircher at the controls. Wallenczak, 57 goals on the year. 4th straight year that Lawrence Tech has had the Offensive Player of the Year on their roster. Kircher stripped, and it goes out of bounds, and good ride there from Lawrence Tech. Quick restart here from Wallenczak. Lobs it over the intended target all the way to the opposite end of the field. And you can see Marian head coach Allie Stork-Sneed there directing some help out there to Allison Sissel, letting her know that there was no trouble to be found anywhere near her. So another turnover here for Lawrence Tech, but then the Blue Devils intercept here with Pellman. Trying to beat Anaya Williams to the rack. Actually make it Sydney Guerin on the interception. And here's Volley Gore to settle things down here for the Blue Devils on the first giveaway of the night here for top seed Marian. Cutter right down Main Street. This one goes off the post from Wallenczak. The conference's Offensive Player of the Year, an inch or so away from tying our championship game at 1. Instead, the netminder's best friend, Anaya Jones. Those steel poles clad in orange paint keep Marian in front by a tally. Going for the interception was Carmen Foster of Lawrence Tech, unsuccessful there. And Alex Dean scoops it up. And the Knights start 3 for 4 on the clear attempts. Montez with some room to work after Dean was double teamed. Sissel slowing it down here against LTU. And now Montez. Thought about going in there with the right hand, now does. Being held outside the 8-meter fan, turns. Beautiful over the head strip check by Morgan Valigora. Mason, though, tried to pick her pocket. It's Carmen Foster popping out of the scrum here for Lawrence Tech as she tries to get the Blue Devils a successful clear. Denied by Talea Newell, and she'll use her netminder and Gugala to try to help this Lawrence Tech clear, Difference from the men's and the women's game. In the men's game, you have a certain amount of time to get it across midfield. On the women's side of things, no time limit. The only thing that's holding you down is that possession clock. In the men's game, it's 20 seconds to get it across midfield on their 80-second shot clock. It's a 90-second possession clock here in the women's game. Blue Devils with the rock, down by 1. With a slip in front, shovel shot goes in for Mari Pellman. And we're tied at 1 here in the title game. See Pellman slipping right through there. Nice pass from Valigora. So Marie Pellman, 5'3" senior out of Illinois. Top 5 in goals in the conference with 33 of them now. And tonight's game features 6 of the 7 top goal scorers in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Lawrence Tech sports 4 of them, with Wallenczak leading the way with 57 tallies on the year. Valigora, Lowersey, and Pellman to round out those top flight goal scorers here for the Blue Devils. They're led by the Hall of Famer Marian Meltzer in her 9th season overall, leading Lawrence Tech. It's her first one since 2023. And we're taking over when former head coach Emma Keel left to be the head coach this past fall at Detroit Mercy. 1-1, almost halfway home here in quarter one of the WHAC tournament title game. Off the edge of the stick, Anaya Jones comes out of the crease. And the netminder for Marian, their leader in ground balls, picks up one here, and she'll also get another turnover here against Lawrence Tech. That's the 5th one of the opening quarter here for the 3 seed. Jones being pestered behind her own goal by Bella Lowersey. Jones, Lowersey all over her. And a violation and a card will be issued here to Lowersey. A green card against the senior from Zeeland, Michigan. So Lowersey on the green card. And the Knights go on the power play here for the next minute. There's Ella Grace Geed, all-time point producer in Marian history, tried to get that long pass from Jones. Valigora picks it up as the Knights give it away for the 4th time here in the first quarter. Vanderswag outside the critical scoring area, right in the middle of it. A hard collision jars it free for Pellman. Jones picks it up and quickly fires out to the edge, and here's Olivia Dean. The sophomore, the back-to-back winner of the Defensive Player of the Year award in the WHAC. Trying to leave her imprint here on in the early going, or in this early part of our contest tonight. Vanderswag tripped up. And the card's coming out of the pocket here against, it looks to be Allison Sissel. It'll actually go against Riley Bozeman. You can see a whole bunch of collisions right there, and it was Bozeman right there. You see 17 in white that tripped up Vanderswag. 19 seconds away from Lowersey being released for that Lawrence Tech green card, and then they'll go on the power play. 6-on-6 lacrosse here in the offensive end for LTU. Championship game tied at 1. Not looking in Pellman. A whole bunch of traffic in front. Picked out of the sky by Valigora. She had it stripped on the way there, and it's Olivia Dean. Number 1 in the WHAC and caused turnovers, but she couldn't get the ground ball, and it stays here with LTU. Lowersey joining the fray, and the power play begins here for the Blue Devils. Their first player-up opportunity here of the night. Vanderswag from goal line extended, threw it behind her intended target, swiping at it, knifing at it. But the foul called against Dean. And they'll stop the clock here with 6.5 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. And a free position shot has been awarded here to Allison Wallenczak. So Wallenczak finds the cutter in front. Pellman goes sidearm and wide. Only Blue Devils back to back it up in Guerin and Vanderswag. Pellman now for Max here for the Blue Devils as they look for their first lead of the night. Pass in traffic. Jada Taylor showing off the wheels. Couldn't get it in time before Durham scooped up the ground ball. Durham to the edge and Guerin. Extra pass, trying to sweep it in. Nice stop, going between the legs to turn it away. Anaya Jones. Turns away Vanderswag right in front of the goal mouth. Our game remains deadlocked at 1. Bozeman a handful of seconds remaining here on her green card as Marian tries to clear a woman down. There's Deasia Jackson. Anaya Williams. The attacking end here for Marian. Bozeman up to her feet. She gets ready to join the fray and get Marian back to even strength. And a card will be issued here to Morgan Valigora of Lawrence Tech. That'll put us at 6-on-6 for 1 minute on Valigora. But Bozeman right there at the corner of the substitution area, ready to check back into this ball game here in a few seconds. And it was just a second or two, and it's a power play opportunity here for Marian, their second one of the night, and they cash in. Ruby Mason on the goal there for Marian as Bozeman was jogging in. Look at the little slip from Mason, and she dunks it home. Geed on the assist. Geed drew every eye of LTU. And then it was Mason to finish it off. Ruby 2 goals and an assist in the semifinal win against Bethel. Geed had 5 points, including a hat trick in the semis Thursday. Knights trying to get their first draw control of the night, as McKenna Van Zandt has won all 3 here to start. And geez, a crafty vacuumer of the ground ball, and Van Zandt now 4 for 4 on the draws here to begin the title game. Lowersy waiting for reinforcements, and Valigora. Vanderswag on the edge of the critical scoring area, goes behind goal line extended to Guerin. Lowersy to the point in Pellman, who draws 2 defenders. Lobbing it back to Vanderswag, who approaches goal line extended. A little pop pass and a low skipper, beautifully bounced in by Bella Lowersy. Back and forth we go here between the 1 and 3 seeds in the WHAC. Vanderswag draws 2 defenders. The off-ball cut and a low skipper from the hip by Lowersy finds the back of the net. Mason trying to get her first draw control of the night against one of the top players in that category, and Allison Wallenczak. Sophomore from Oregon, Ohio. Almost had her 5th victory, pops it into the attacking end for Marian. A lot of Knights right there, and Geed picks up the ground ball for Marian. So their first draw control of the night comes with 4.5 minutes remaining here in the first. Coles to Mason as they play catch behind GLE. And now back to Coles, who had 2 goals in the semifinal shutout against Bethel. Looking to feed that left hand, threw it behind Mason, tapped into the crease, and Gugawa there to pick it up for LTU as they force the turnover. Less than 4 to play here in the opening quarter. Lawrence Tech has yet to lead tonight. A miscommunication there from the Blue Devils. Montez had it for a moment, but it's Pellman with a backhand flip, but she put it too high for Durham. And that's out of play as the 2 teams trade turnovers. Montez with the restart here. Alex Dean with a little bit of room to work here for Marian. Dean on the edge of the critical scoring area. Now off to Montez. Montez with a head of steam right through the heart of the Lawrence Tech defense. Had the ball for a moment. She took that extra step to greatness and slipped out of the cross, but thankfully for her, Riley Bozeman, her teammate, was right there to pick it up. Bozeman turned the corner but lost the ball. Second defender comes, dumps it off behind goal line extended, then swung around to Coles. Marian trying to go back in front. They have not led by more than 1 time. The 2 teams have traded goals. Marian, Lawrence Tech, Marian, and then Lawrence Tech again. Dean on the cut. Had to sweep the cross away from 2 different defenders. Geed with Thomas marking her every move. Geed stopping and starting, trying to get that left hand free. Dumps it off to Newell. Newell through X. That dominant left hand off balance shot goes wide. Coles there to back it up and keep it here with Marian with 15 to shoot. Coles on the restart, tight quarters pass to Newell. Now 9 to get a shot away. Marian trying to attack here, just dump it behind the goal. Newell goes with 3, lets it go. It was blocked on the way there. And a yellow card is going to be issued here for a dangerous follow-through to Talea Newell. So 2 minutes for the dangerous follow-through for Talea Newell. And you'll see it right there, went right over and actually collided with Vanderswag. That's a good play there from the senior, knowing the shot clock was below 10 seconds and that Newell and Marian had to get a shot away, and if they didn't, in danger of turning it over. Because that yellow card came out in right about 2 minutes. Lawrence Tech will have the power play for the entirety of the rest of our opening quarter. They look for their first lead here tonight. Pellman with Williams. Give a little bit of defensive pressure at X. Pellman wanted to fire it into the middle. It was intercepted and smacked down by Jada Taylor. Vanderswag there to pick it up and restart things here for Lawrence Tech. Gets it back from Pellman. Woman up here, open space, lefty shot, blocked before it could get there on the Lowersy attempt. Vanderswag resets. To the end line in Durham. And this is Guerin to start things here for LTU. Pass out in front, they wanted Vali Gora. Couldn't get it to her cleanly. Pellman with another key ground ball with a minute left to go here in the first. Lowersy turns and burns one low. And Marian actually is going to be able to back this one up. So they'll get the possession here, and they can hold it with for 43 more seconds. They will get the ball to start the second quarter. A woman down for the rest of the first quarter, or the first quarter here, tied at 2. Coles running through multiple Blue Devil checks. Her pass intended for Bozeman, intercepted by Thomas. And you can hear the Lawrence Tech sideline yelling for the Blue Devils to try to hold on to it here. Gugalo, the netminder, with 15 seconds left, is not going to get any pressure from Marian. So Gugala can hang out here, and now Coles jogs in with 8 seconds remaining in the quarter, trying to force her to give it up. She does with 4 seconds. And LTU will start it from that spot on the field with 63 seconds on the possession clock. We are tied at 2 after 1 quarter of play in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference Tournament Championship game. 3-seed Lawrence Tech has answered every goal tonight here from top seed Marian. Second quarter coming up next here on the ISC Sports Network.
Merchants Bank is one of the nation's top performing banks. Take our fixed rate CD, for example. At 4.5 APY, it's a great way to earn a higher interest rate than you do with a traditional savings account. Merchants Bank makes it simple. What you see is what you get. A great rate. No gimmicks, no minimums, no hidden fees. Merchants Bank, one of the nation's top performing banks. Hop on over.
When you have back or neck pain, you'll try anything for relief. Anything.
Whoa! Honey?
Honey, it was mustard seed.
For real options, get your back in front of the spine experts at Ortho Indy. Ortho Indy Spine. This is your way back.
Top seed Marian trying to win their first Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference tournament title in program history. They were outshot in that opening quarter 9-4 by Lawrence Tech, but both teams took just 3 shots on goal, each capitalizing twice. The draw controls are really where Marian is kind of have to try to pick it up here. They lost 4 of the 5 draws, in that opening quarter, and McKenna Van Zandt won all 4 of them. For that group right there, the Blue Devils of Lawrence Tech, who've been one of the preeminent teams in women's lacrosse in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Again, led by the Hall of Famer Marianne Meltzer, announced as the head coach back in early September, was inducted into the Lawrence Tech Hall of Fame last season during her first go-around between 2016 and 2023 as the head coach of the Blue Devils, to get a look at the now vacant campus of Marian University with graduation today. Meltzer won the 2023 National Championship with Lawrence Tech, took the Blue Devils to 2 runner-up finishes on the national stage as well in 2017 and 2022. Was also a 2-time National Coach of the Year. So with Lawrence Tech holding on to the ball at the end of the opening quarter, they'll start with it here, but they'll have to start with it on the very edge of their defensive end with about 60 seconds on the possession clock. Losing it just across midfield was Foster. Coming in to scoop it up is Geed, and a good start here for Marian as we're back to even strength. Geed with an edge coming in from the left side. Stops, defender flies by, tucked through 2 defenders, lost it. Sent skyward, and Mason jets out to keep it here for Marian. Just underway in the second quarter. Marian looking to regain a lead here in the tournament title game. Dean on the edge of the critical scoring area here for Marian. Junior midfielder from nearby Fishers, Indiana. Crossfield pass, Geed. Dean pops for your defender, fell down. Geed found her, but the ball fell out of the cross right before Dean could turn and fire at goal. Montez trying to shake away from Thomas. To the middle of the critical scoring area, and putting it home is Alex Dean. Montez fading away. Dean catches it, works it. She looks like she scored that goal with one hand. Take a look at it here. She switches to the left, and she did. Just yanked that stick down to the turf with that right hand, and Dean tallies her first one of the night and puts Marian back in the driver's seat. Montez with the helper, her 7th one of the season. Dean had a hat trick against Bethel in the semifinals Thursday. Alex Dean, a back-to-back first-team All-Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference pick for the 2026 year, and last year as a sophomore 2025. But another draw control here for Van Zant and LTU. Here's their first offensive possession here in the second quarter. Top 10 in the NAIA when it comes to total shots taken this season. So this offense comes at you in every which way from the opening whistle. Wallenzak behind goal line extended, and Sydney Guerin plays in her 6th game of the year and her 2nd start. Spinning Vanderswag. Off balance pass, found Pellman. Extra one to the slot. Nice check by Montez, a jarred free from Durham. And Riley Bozeman tripped up to the turf, and the foul called against Lawrence Tech, and it'll be a Marian clear. Here's Jada Taylor, and a midfielder her first 3 years here at Marian. Moved to that defender role this year, but has missed 6 straight games after suffering an injury. And last game before Senior Day in the semifinals on Thursday was all the way back on March 12th. As she and Skylar O'Leary, who we have yet to see here tonight for Marian, both missed over a month of time before coming back in a big way in the semifinals, and Delaney Colas coming right down Main Street to give Marian their first multi-goal lead of the night. Mason with her head up the whole time, the lefty feed, and Coles broke away from Thomas and dunked it. Timeout on the field for Lawrence Tech. We'll take it with them. 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the second quarter. Top seed in Marian leads 3 seed Lawrence Tech by 2 here on the ISC Sports Network.
There's something that may surprise you about Marian University. It's not our Catholic faith or our Franciscan values. It's not our 5,000 students or our diversity. It's not Marian's championship athletics or our Indianapolis location. It's that Marian is home to Indiana's only college of osteopathic medicine. Marian, Indy's Catholic University.
You can see Marian Meltzer, the Hall of Famer, right there in the middle of the Lawrence Tech huddles. They called the timeout, their first one here tonight after Marian has struck for 2 goals here in about a minute and 30 seconds of the second quarter. First time tonight that Lawrence Tech has not answered a Marian tally, answering both in succession in that opening frame. We mentioned off the top, this all-time series had been dominated by the Blue Devils heading into this season, as Marian had never beaten LTU until this year, losing all 4 previous meetings, but then a 13-12 overtime win at Lawrence Tech at the end of March, and then here in the regular season home finale on April 18th. That was a 13-9 Marian victory here on the home field that they celebrated their incredibly talented senior class. As Marian trying to get to the NAI tournament for just the second time in program history, the first time coming back in 2019. They won the outright regular season title here in the WHAC this season. First time they did that in program history. They're looking for their first tournament title as well. Legal procedure on the draw by Ruby Mason of Marian, and it's going to be another draw control here for LTU. They've won 6 of the 7 draws here to start this championship game off. Waligora ducking in. Almost threw that one away, still pestering at it outside of the offensive end for Lawrence Tech was Coles, who just scored. Wallensack in front. Lowersy turned into traffic, lost her footing, but Pellman there for a key loose ball pickup here for LTU. Vanderswag behind GLE. Waligora off the flip. Pellman face dodge to get away from trouble. The interior of the Marian defense has been stifling here in this second quarter, not allowing any clean looks here for the Lawrence Tech offense. Montez gives Waligora a shove as she circles around the edge of the attacking area. Vanderswag, pass on the run, delayed whistle. And a 3-second violation called against Marian, and a free position shot coming up here for Lawrence Tech and Allison Wallensack. She's 7 for 17 on the 8 meters this season. And here's the first one of the night for either team. Goes in, goes high to high, and shot her high. Good collapsing pressure defense there by Marian. Guerin on the backup restarts it here for Lawrence Tech. Skip pass up top. Vanderswag looking for an angle. Help came from Dean. Pellman zips her way in and then fires it right past the stick of Anaya Jones. Mari Pellman with an absolute rocket to get LTU back to within 1. Pellman, the beautiful face dodge, get away from the second defender, then ripped it and blasted it right over Jones's cross. You see the coaching staff there for Lawrence Tech. We mentioned the head coach, Marian Meltzer, there on the far left. Her assistants, Annabelle Alouche and Mia Dyson. So Pellman from Vanderswag, and Van Zant trying to win yet another draw here for 3-seed Lawrence Tech. Mason and Marian have won just 1 of the first 7 here so far, and the 8th one is their lucky number. Marian bench very excited there for the draw control by Ruby Mason, the leader in that category for number 7 Marian. Knights ranked 7th in the country. Lawrence Tech ranked 10th in the country. Winner of tonight's conference tournament title game gets the automatic bid to the national tournament out of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. The loser will have to wait and hear if their name is called coming up on Selection Day coming up next week. Bozeman lost her footing, defended by Vanderswag. Bozeman able to pick it up, dropped it again, and there's Gee to snack it out of the air. Gee, a little slip pass in front. Dean falls away and scores her second one of the night. Second one for Alex Dean. Second assist for Ella Grace Geed. And Geed falling away there. And Geed, a little pop pass, found Dean, who's jump shot off of 1 foot. You can feel that excitement coming off all those Marian players on the field. A nice looking feed there from Geed. No one with more points in Marian women's lacrosse history than 24 in white. A real energy starter as well, not only being the offensive catalyst to boot. Mason trying to win another draw. Poked back outside of the box by Lawrence Tech, but they poked it right to Ruby Mason. So back-to-back draw controls for 7 in white. And Marian looking to get their first 3-goal lead here at the title game. Geed operates from up top with Foster watching her. Geed setting the screen for Sissel. Man-to-man defense here for Lawrence Tech, pressing out to the very edges of the critical scoring area. Bozeman dancing, off-balance shot, maybe getting a piece of it was Gugala. They'll be backed up by Marian, and they'll say that it missed Gugala's stick as the shot clock stays below 60. Newell, pressure from Thomas. Throw back with the left hand, cross-handed catch by Coles. Plenty of room to work behind goal line, extended for Coles. Curls up, dropped it on the pass from Mason, and picked up by loosely for Lawrence Tech. Loose ball to the sideline, LTU trying to save it. They could not, and Geed picks up the loose change here for Marian. Another incredible ride here for the Marian Knights, forcing the second failed clear of the evening for the visitors. Coles cutting across the middle of the critical scoring area. Sissel at the controls here for the Marian offense. Dean. This is the older of the Dean sisters and Alex with 2 goals tonight. Van Zant leaning on her hip. Geed has been a facilitator tonight, looking for a shot there, denied by the Blue Devil defense. Geed dancing. Sissel had a pair of tallies in the semifinals. Gets a screen from Newell, but a moving screen called against the Marian senior. Turnover number 8 of the opening half here for top seed Marian, who leads by 2. Successful clear here for the Blue Devils and Audrey Durham. Blue Devils have not had a shot in a while. Volley Gora. Pressed out by the defensive player of the year in the conference. That's Olivia Dean, 9 in white. And she'll get ready to slow down Volley Gora. Into the middle of the critical scoring area, turning and skipping it home is Bella Lowersey, her second tally this evening.
Goal scored by the Blue Devils, number 3, Bella Lowersey.
So Lowersey, right hand skip. That's the second time tonight that Lowersey's dropped that stick to the tops of the shoes. Assist will go to Volley Gora, number 2 for her tonight. But you look at Lowersey, had 5 goals in the romp against Indiana Tech on Thursday. And she's had a real breakout since being held in check against Marian on that game here on April 18th. Lowersey, in the last 4 games coming in, had scored 13 goals and dished out 7 assists. She's bumped it up to now 15 in the last 4 games plus.
Yellow card issued to Lawrence Tech's number 21, McKenna Van Zant.
Yellow card issued to McKenna Van Zant, so she'll have to sit for 2 minutes. Can the Knights take advantage on the power play here for the next 2 minutes, leading by 1 here in the conference title game? Newell on GLE. Thomas there to defend, giving way to Dean. Geed runs the show from up top to the edge, and Bozeman caught Mason off guard with a quick pass in. And it's backed up by the elder of the Dean sisters and Alex. Montez to Gee, right in front. Mason could have turned and shot with the left, instead deals it off behind the goal to Newell. Dean trying to split the two LTU defenders. Up top to Gee, popping out free. Wide open goal as Bozeman sidestepped Gugala, and she's not going to miss those. Gee on the feet, but then look at Bozeman. Pulling a little Houdini there against Gugala, and you could see Lawrence Tech head coach Marian Meltzer at the bottom of that first replay. Hands on her head in shock with her netminder stepping out, and Bozeman able to slip it through, and the Knights go back in front by 2. Whoop, right there, and wide open is Bozeman. Lowersy to take this draw. 4th on the Blue Devils in draw controls, but that's because Van Zandt, who's been dominating the draw circle tonight, is currently still sitting on the sideline, still serving that 2-minute yellow card. Mason has found her rhythm against Van Zandt. Can she do it here against Lowersy? Cannot, as it's Lowersy to pick up the loose change here for the Blue Devils. Little over a minute to go here on the woman down situation for Lawrence Tech, but they throw it away, and it's sniped out of the air by the netminder Jones. So a critical misstep there for Lawrence Tech, and another card is going to be issued here against the Blue Devils. That'll put them 2 women down around the next 45 seconds or so. Valigora picks up her second green card. Lawrence Tech sideline not happy about that. They had a prime opportunity to burn off that last minute or so. The Knights getting a little dangerous with the pass. Too high for Mason from Montez. And Coles ran out of room to try to pick that one up on the sideline. So it looked like Marian could have really cashed in 2 women up for almost a minute or so, as Alex Dean, one of their top midfielders, getting stretched out with the athletic training staff down below us. But the Knights turn it over. Their 9th one here of the first half. That breathes new life back into Lawrence Tech, trying to burn off the final seconds of the Van Zandt yellow card. But then they give it away. Newell, one woman to beat, shoots and misses just wide, as the two teams unable to really clean up this passing game in the last couple of minutes, and Newell almost made Lawrence Tech pay. Great challenge there, fighting the whole way. Carmen Foster not allowing Newell to get a clean look at Cage. And we're back to even strength with Valigora returning to the field after her 1-minute green card expired. So back to 7-on-7 here in the Marian offensive end, leading by 2. This matches their biggest lead here of the championship game. Bozeman against Vanderswag. Gets the screen from Montez, who took the spill. Bozeman sidestepped her way in. And did she draw a free position shot? It looks like she might have. Crafty move there by Bozeman to draw the 8-meter. That'll be the first free position shot of the night for Marian, as it looks like it was Vanderswag who gets called for that foul inside the critical scoring area. So they'll actually back Bozeman all the way out to the outermost edge of the critical scoring area. So still the foul against Vanderswag, but not an opportunity from the 8-meter fan here for the Knights. Ruby Mason, the senior, back-to-back first-team all WHAC selections. A little bit off target there from Coles. Geed to back it up. Top point producer in Marian history, has been a prime facilitator tonight here for the top-seeded Knights. Will she look for a shot here? Has every trick in the book. Firing high was Sissel. Missing over the crossbar, but the Knights able to back it up with Newell set to restart it right there on your screen. But the shot clock expired, so a turnover against the Knights as they used the full 90. But we'll see if Lawrence Tech can clear here. They're just 2 for 4 on clear attempts here tonight. It has been an adventure at times here for the Blue Devils. A little bit of a wind, but not too much of a wind to really play tricks with any long-range passes. Loosely turns it over near midfield, and now here comes one of the faster players from Marian in Ruby Mason. She runs by 2, trying to run by a 3rd. She'll dish off to Geed instead of trying to run by a 4th. Gets it back from Geed. Beautiful trail check in the middle of the field by Van Zant. She's unable to pick it up clean. Then Mason takes a spill on the turf, and Geed will shovel it outside to Montez. Delayed whistle in the air. Foul inside the critical scoring area against Lawrence Tech, and a free position shot coming up here for Marian. Foul on Carmen Foster as Beatty Montez ready to take the 8-meter here for Marian, their first one tonight. And she has been efficient in this spot this season, 5 of 6. Almost missed, or almost got that 6th goal there, just bounced it high over the crossbar. Tiana Thomas showing off the wheels here for Lawrence Tech. Up the field to Lowersey. And with 2 and change remaining here in the second quarter, the Blue Devils will set up in the offensive end and to cut into this 2-goal deficit. Vanderswag coming off of that season-high 5 goals. Starting the offense here, but right in the heart of the attacking end here for Lawrence Tech, they almost give it away. Volley Gora. Pellman bump, still has possession. Flips it outside to Volley Gora. Tried to thread the needle, knocked down by the Marian defense. But Volley Gora gets it back. Pass deflected in the air. Pellman tracked it somehow. Her shot was checked out of her stick on the way there. But waiting on the end line was Guerin, and she'll restart it here for Lawrence Tech with 85 seconds remaining in the opening half. And a foul called there, it looks like, against Anaya Williams. But she won't be asked to line up behind the restarting Guerin. Volley Gora, pressured by Montez. Now Williams switches to her in the Marian zone defense. Volley Gora, spinning away from Dean, who checked it free. But they'll get Olivia Dean for the foul inside the critical scoring area, and here comes an 8-meter opportunity for Lawrence Tech with less than a minute to play. Volley Gora, 2 for 12 on free position shots this year. Knifes her way through, and Anaya Jones turns her away. Big time save from the sophomore Jones. Knights looking to clear. Sissel was the intended target for Dean. Inside the draw circle, here's Alex Dean with a head of steam. Dean retreats after the good pressure from Foster. Williams backs it up here for Marian. 22 seconds remaining in the opening half. Do the Knights have one more offensive push here in our opening 30 minutes of play? Mason at goal line extended. Nice fight. Geed out in front. Turns and fires and scores. Mason, goal line extended. Catch, turn, fire. And Geed's not going to miss from in close. So Mason with her first helper tonight. She's up to 3 points. Same for Geed on her first tally. And that 7th goal of the night comes with 10 seconds left to go in the second. As the Knights took that up the field in less than 30 seconds. Good 2-woman game there from the 2 seniors and the 2 former high school teammates at Bishop Chatard High School, and Mason able to find Geed. Final draw. Game clock didn't start, but now does. We'll see those extra seconds help out Lawrence Tech here with 4 to go in the second quarter. Foster up top, and that'll be the end of the opening half of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference Tournament Championship game. Marian, after being tied with Lawrence Tech at 2 after the first, outscored the Blue Devils 5-2 in that second quarter and lead by 3 at the break. Take a break and come back with our halftime report. That's next here on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey, grab me one too.
We jumped in immediately. We take a intro to engineering course.
And they sit there and tell you, we're not going to push you through every single prereq your first 2 years. We're going to let you get hands-on work with engineering right away, because 2 years of a prereq, that's boring.
There's companies always asking for students with shop experience. And the dean will email me and say, hey, they're looking for a guy just like you, which is awesome that the dean knows who a guy like me is.
Getting an internship here has been much easier than I anticipated. My friends at bigger schools are telling me, well, I need to live, close to this city so I can work for this company. Well, I'm already close to the city. I live here.
Merchants Bank is one of the nation's top performing banks. Take our fixed rate CD, for example. At 4.5 APY, it's a great way to earn a higher interest rate than you do with a traditional savings account. Merchants Bank makes it simple. What you see is what you get. A great rate. No gimmicks, no minimums, no hidden fees. Merchants Bank, one of the nation's top performing banks. Hop on over.
This story is mad good.
Ice Spice?
Who's that?
It's my ex, lemon lime soda.
This is intense.
But I love you.
Buddy, it'll be okay.
Or not.
Getting an internship here has been much easier than I anticipated. My friends at bigger schools are telling me, well, I need to live, close to this city so I can work for this company. Well, I'm already close to the city. I live here.
Merchants Bank is one of the nation's top performing banks. Take our fixed rate CD, for example. At 4.5 APY, it's a great way to earn a higher interest rate than you do with a traditional savings account. Merchants Bank makes it simple. What you see is what you get. A great rate. No gimmicks, no minimums, no hidden fees. Merchants Bank, one of the nation's top performing banks. Hop on over.
All quiet here at Ascension St. Vincent Field is Lawrence Tech just off camera to the left, huddling up with their coaching staff. The Marian squad inside that building to your right, and right now it's the top seed Knights holding on to a 7-4 lead here at recess over 3-seed Lawrence Tech, as Marian trying to win their first Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference Tournament Championship and make it back to the national tournament in the NAI for the second time in program history. Draw controls, as we mentioned, were something that the Knights really struggled with in that opening quarter. Got it to close to even in that second quarter, still down by 4, 8-4 in that category overall, but that was thanks to the big start from McKenna Van Zant in the first quarter for Lawrence Tech. Shots just about even. We mentioned it was a heavy advantage for LTU in total shots. Even were shots on goal after one quarter. The Knights have the advantage there, 8-6 in shots on goal. Just 3 total saves from both of our netminders combined, in Gugala for Lawrence Tech and Jones for Marian. That's because out of the 14 shots, 11 of them have found the back of the net for the shots on goal. Both of these offenses, we mentioned, top 3 in pretty much every offensive category in the conference. They have been incredibly efficient here tonight. Clears, though, have been an adventure at times. Lawrence Tech just 3 of 6 on the clears. Marian 7 of 9. The Blue Devils have turned it over 12 times to Marian's 9 as the Knights ride. And that stingy defense, the best in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference when it comes to total goals allowed, really flex their muscles here tonight and put Lawrence Tech and not the best opportunities to try and score. It was a back-and-forth opening quarter with Marian scoring, Lawrence Tech answering, Marian scoring, Lawrence Tech answering, And then the Knights were able to had that lead at around 2 goals until Bella Lowersey made it 5-4 with a 7:18 mark, but 2 big goals in the final 6 minutes. Bozeman answered about 30 seconds or so after the Lowersey goal to go back up by 2. A big-time save by Anaya Jones with about 45 seconds left led for the Knights to go the other way as Geed was able to get the feed off of Mason and score from right out in front as Geed leads our game with a game-high 4 points, as it looks like Bella Foz, the sophomore from Lakeland, Florida, might be coming in to start the second half here for Lawrence Tech, as she and Gugala have almost split time evenly right down the middle this year here for LTU. Foz with a deep breath, being helped there by one of the assistant coaches for Lawrence Tech, and she'll have to get ready to go here as her team down by 3. Hoping they don't have to sit on pins and needles waiting for an at-large bid coming up next week. The automatic bid goes to the winner of tonight's championship game. The Knights 30 minutes away from punching their ticket to the NAI National Tournament. We'll come back with first half highlights next here on ISC.
This story is mad good.
Ice Spice?
Who's that?
It's my ex, lemon lime soda.
This is intense.
But I love you.
Ah, buddy, it'll be okay.
Or not. When you have back or neck pain, you'll try anything for relief. Anything.
Whoa! Honey?
Honey, it was mustard seed.
For real options, get your back in front of the spine experts at Ortho Indy. Ortho Indy Spine. This is your way back.
There's something that may surprise you about Marian University. It's not our Catholic faith or our Franciscan values. It's not our 5,000 students or our diversity. It's not Marian's championship athletics or our Indianapolis location. It's that Marian is home to Indiana's only college of osteopathic medicine. Marian, Indy's Catholic University.
Merchants Bank is one of the nation's top performing banks. Take our fixed rate CD, for example. At 4.5 APY, it's a great way to earn a higher interest rate than you do with a traditional savings account. Merchants Bank makes it simple. What you see is what you get. A great rate. No gimmicks, no minimums, no hidden fees. Merchants Bank, one of the nation's top performing banks. Hop on over.
Here are first half highlights here from Ascension St. Vincent Field, the 2026 Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference Championship game. Riley Bozeman got it going early for Marian. Pellman answered. Then Mason scored about 3 minutes after that, but it was Lawrence Tech's Bella Lowersey, who's been on fire the last 4+ games, that tied us up at 2. The second quarter, though, belonged to the Knights as they outscored Lawrence Tech 5-2. Pellman with an absolute rip right there to get LTU back to within 1. But then Alex Dean turns and fires home the second assist of the night from Geed. And then look at the move here from Bozeman, a little Houdini action around Gugala. That made it 6-4 Marian. And then after a big-time save by Anaya Jones, which we'll see later, look at the spin and fire from point-blank distance for Ella Grace Geed. And here are the 2 big saves for Anaya Jones. This is the first one in the second quarter, or the first quarter, excuse me, goes between the legs to stop it. And then this was off the free position shot that set up that last Geed goal with about 45 seconds left, turning away Morgan Valigora, a first-team all-conference pick. Marian making her way back onto the field. We'll take a short break, come back, and get ready for the second half here from Marian University. The home Knights, the top seed and the 7th-ranked team of the country, 30 minutes away from going back to the NAI National Tournament. They lead by 3 over 3-seed Lawrence Tech here on ISC.
We jumped in immediately. We take an intro to engineering course.
And they sit there and tell you, we're not going to push you through every single prereq your first 2 years. We're going to let you get hands-on work with engineering right away, because 2 years of a prereq, that's boring.
There's companies always asking for students with shop experience. And the dean will email me and say, hey, they're looking for a guy just like you, which is awesome that the dean knows who a guy like me is.
Hey, grab me one too.
Ruby Mason and the top seed Marian Knights lead 7-4 as we start this second half. Remember, the semifinals on Thursday, it was Lawrence Tech that broke free after trailing by 2 at the end of one against LTU, 6-4. They outscored them 10-zip in the second stanza. Here, Marian outscores Lawrence Tech by 3 in the second. And that's their margin here as we start the second half. Van Zandt has been almost unbeatable inside the draw circle tonight. Gets a little bit of help from her teammate Carmen Foster, and a quick start here for LTU coming out of the locker room. Mari Pellman with 2 goals in that opening half for the Blue Devils. Back-to-back all WHAC selection. Last year's second team, this year first team. With now 34 goals on the year after her 2 in the first half. Vanderswag at X, a couple of helpers today. Her pass got deflected, scooped up by Olivia Dean, the back-to-back WHAC Defensive Player of the Year. And the sophomore finds her big sis, Alex, and here come the Knights after the cause turnover. Geed with an angle. She's got Dean cutting right down the middle of the defense, rolls that left hand, and it goes wide. But a good look there from Alex Dean, trying to get her second hat trick in as many postseason games this year. Newell at X with Thomas, keeping a keen eye on her. Nice find. Coles, though, couldn't look it in. Backed up by Mason, and Marian still able to reset with 50 seconds on the possession clock. Montez trying to create, slips it through. Bozeman to come in and out of the cross, still trying to pick it up, and it'll be swept into the Lawrence Tech crease as Madison Gugala, the starter, remains in there for Lawrence Tech. If you're with us at halftime, you saw backup Bella Foz, the sophomore from Florida, getting warmed up, but it's still 24 in blue between the pipes here for the Blue Devils. She was pulled. She entered the game with less than 3 to play against Indiana Tech in the semifinals. And she was a brick wall against 2-seed Tech. And a foul committed here by Anaya Williams. She'll actually get the green card here for a cross-check.
Green card issued to the Knights, number 23, Anaya Williams.
Comes a minute and 55 seconds into our second half. We'll see if LTU can capitalize here. They have not scored a woman up yet today. They were really good in that category in the semis against Indiana Tech. They scored 5 of them against the Warriors. Slipping through Durham. Turned away by the Marian woman down defense. On the perimeter to Vanderswag, who goes to X. Looking for help right in the middle. This shot goes high as Wallenzak was right on the doorstep. And the Offensive Player of the Year in the conference has been held to no goals and no assists here so far for LTU. Marian has done an incredible job against one of the top offensive threats in the entire country. Pellman backing it out here for LTU. Gives way to Guerin. A couple more seconds left in the woman down that Marian's trying to kill off. Williams back into the fray, still has some room to work to get into the attacking end, and it'll be even strength here. Face dodge Pellman. Drew 3 defenders, shoots on the run, and this one is in the back of the net. Good looking shot there from Mari Pellman. She gets the hat trick, and Lawrence Tech strikes first here in the second half.
Marie Pillman.
See that face dodge from Pellman, went high to low on the bouncer. And the senior from Illinois has got the Blue Devils back to within 2. Had 4 goals and 3 assists in the semis against Indiana Tech. Has got 3 of the 5 tonight here for the Blue Devils. Pellman missed 3 games this season. They were all losses to number 9 Ave Maria, number 6 Kaiser, and number 8 Indiana Tech. Those are the rankings every time those 3 games were played back earlier in the year. But just come back with a vengeance here, but the draw control picked up off the turf by Mason. Marian looking for their first goal here of the second half as their lead has been trimmed down to 2. They have not trailed in this game. They're going ahead 3-2 to start that second quarter. They have never trailed and have been tied twice. But the Knights give it away for the 11th time here tonight. And now Gugala with Coles draped all over her. Spins back into the crease, and that'll get her some reprieve from the Marian ride. Dangerous pass in the middle of the field. Geed trying to pick it up off the bounce, and she does. Here comes Geed with a head of steam, fakes the pass, shoots and scores! Ella Grace Geed with an incredible oh, it goes off the outside of the net. It would have been an incredible individual effort from Geed, but she just pushed it wide right of the cage. A tough break there for 24 and white as the Knights look to have gone back up by 3. And now can Lawrence Tech and Van Zandt capitalize here and get the deficit down to 1? A good start to this second half for Lawrence Tech after their offense was stuck in the mud at the end of the opening half. Slipping into space, Wallenczak steps through multiple defenders, shoots on the run, and she pings the corner. Allison Wallenczak, the conference Offensive Player of the Year, gets her first goal of the night, but is slow to get back to her feet. Wallenczak ran through 4 or 5 Marian defenders, and then Sissel was right there trying to stop her progress. Wallenczak collided with her. And they're going to bring the sports medicine staff and Lindsay Michalak, the athletic trainer for Lawrence Tech, trying to come out and take a look and see on Allison Wallenczak. We will step aside and come back with more next. You're watching the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference Women's Lacrosse Tournament Championship game here on the ISC Sports Network.
Getting an internship here has been much easier than I anticipated. My friends at bigger schools are telling me, well, I need to live, close to this city so I can work for this company. Well, I'm already close to the city. I live here.
It's a good sight to see there. Wallenczak back to her feet, sophomore out of Ohio. Sissel was right there trying to potentially draw a charge against her. But Wallenczak wisely got that shot away. You can see her really limping off the field a little bit, able to walk off under her own power, though doing so gingerly. Marian's taking a timeout. We'll step aside once again. With 10.5 left to go here in the third quarter. Back-to-back goals here for Lawrence Tech. They've cut the deficit down to 1 here on the ISC Sports Network.
This story is mad good.
Ice Spice?
Who's that?
It's my ex, lemon lime soda.
This is intense.
But I love you.
Ah, buddy, it'll be okay.
Or not.
Merchants Bank is one of the nation's top performing banks. Take our fixed rate CD, for example. At 4.5 APY, it's a great way to earn a higher interest rate than you do with a traditional savings account. Merchants Bank makes it simple. What you see is what you get. A great rate. No gimmicks, no minimums, no hidden fees. Merchants Bank, one of the nation's top performing banks. Hop on over.
Goals a little bit over a minute apart here for Lawrence Tech as they've cut their deficit down to 2. They've trailed by no more than 3 here tonight. But right now, the attention paid to the conference's Offensive Player of the Year, Allison Wallenczak, just scored her first goal of the night as she stretches out her right leg on the bench down and to our left here for LTU, getting looked at by athletic trainer Lindsay Michalak. So it's good to see Wallenczak get off and walk off the field under her own power, doing so, though, gingerly. You knew Marian wasn't going to keep the Offensive Player of the Year in the conference off the board the whole night. But can she come back here as it looks like Lawrence Tech has started to find their groove offensively? Van Zandt's been doing her job inside the draw circle tonight, winning another one. That's the 10th one out of the 15 in our contest this evening, and Van Zandt's won the majority of those here tonight for the Blue Devils. Open lanes for Durham. She'll back it out and deal off to Guerin. Vanderswang drew the defensive assignment of Jada Taylor, who slots back into the Marian zone defense. Molly Gora, 5 minutes into the third quarter. Carries up that left side, steps through 3 defenders. This one goes off the post as she beat Jones, but it rattled off the iron. Lawrence Tech trying to score their third goal in a row and get us back to even. Grace Kircher, second team all WHAC selection this year from her defender spot. But back to help out is the junior Coles. Coles, the hero, when these teams met in Michigan back at the end of March. She scored the overtime goal back on March 25th. Kircher trying to clear, trail check from Lowersey. Might have to wait for reinforcements as she forces the failed clear for the Knights. Their third one of those this evening. 9 and change left to go here in the third. Wally Agora at the controls here for the Lawrence Tech offense. Wallenczak still getting looked at, trying to stretch out her right leg on the Lawrence Tech sideline. Top 10 in goals in the country at the NAI level. Just scored her first one there before getting dinged up on the follow-through. Dean smacks the pass out of the air by Emma Barton, her first showing tonight. As Barton and Wally Agora fight for it, it went off of those two Blue Devils. Good, excellent defense there once again by the sophomore Olivia Dean. Just the third player in the history of the WHAC to win the Defensive Player of the Year in back-to-back seasons, and she's done it as a freshman and now as a sophomore. Williams knocked down to the turf. The Marian sideline and fans looking for a foul that doesn't come. Dean finds Sissel inside the draw circle. Dished it off to Mason, who tried to snap it away from Van Zant. Those two draw control specialists have been locking horns all night. Then Van Zant goes for a tumble, and she'll draw the green card here against one of 3 Knights that were around her. It looks like it'll go against Kircher, the guilty party.
Green card issue to Marian's number 27, Grace Kircher.
So the green card issue to Kircher at the 8:12 mark here of the third quarter. And can LTU tie this thing at 7 and score their third straight tally to start this third quarter? They're a woman up here for the next 50 seconds or so. Wally Agora behind goal line extended now. Dances on top of it. Tight pressure by Anaya Williams. Knights are a woman down. Pellman to make a Guerin catch and shoot. And Jones stood tall and turned her away. Pellman, backhand flip to Vanderswag. Looking for cutters, finds one up top. Shot and another save for Anaya Jones. This time it's Durham that runs into a brick wall. Outlet pass, though, by Jones. Was intercepted by Vanderswag. Durham. Pellman shoots, was blocked on the way there, and another scoop there for Jones inside the crease. After not being challenged a lot in that second quarter, Jones has stood tall here in the last couple of moments, keeping Marian in front by 1. Almost a turnover there. Colas able to pick it back up. Good news for Lawrence Tech as Allison Wallenczak back up near the sideline, ready to re-enter here as Emma Barton will sub out. Here's Geed with a step on the defense. Now takes an extra step to greatness and burns that one by Gugala. Geed with an absolute heater. And the 4-time first-team all-conference pick has got 5 points tonight here in the title game. Nobody slid to stop the ball, and Geed tried to knock the net off its hinges. Again, Wallenczak back on the field here for Lawrence Tech. Almost 60 goals scored this year for the 5'4" sophomore. Suffered a lower body injury after scoring her first goal tonight. Spent a couple of minutes on the sideline trying to stretch her right leg out and looks to be good to go. She's back on the field here. We'll see how she looks if Lawrence Tech can win another draw here. They've won 10 of the 15 here tonight. Van Zant has been a one-woman wrecking crew, and here she gets called for the illegal procedure as Coles took that one in place of Mason, and the Knights have possession once again. Back-to-back 5-point showings in the tournament for Geed, and Nuts make it 6 as she completes the hat trick on another blistering right-hand attempt. Gee just teeing off here against Gugala inside the cage. And that's going to force a Lawrence Tech timeout. Gee, the all-time point producer in Marian history, has come to life here in the last 2 minutes with back-to-back goals less than 30 seconds apart, and Marian leads once again by 3. We'll take a break and come back with more next here on ISC.
Getting an internship here has been much easier than I anticipated. My friends at bigger schools are telling me, well, I need to live, close to this city so I can work for this company. Well, I'm already close to the city. I live here.
This story is mad good.
Ice Spice?
Who's that?
It's my ex lemon lime soda.
This is intense.
I love you.
Buddy, it'll be okay.
Or not.
A lot of happy nights on the sideline here as they try to beat Lawrence Tech for the 3rd time this season. They were 0-4 against the Blue Devils all-time heading into this year. We mentioned the overtime winner on the road at the end of March. 4-goal victory here a couple of weeks ago on Senior Day, and they lead by 3 in a back-and-forth affair. But the young lady on the left side of your screen with the eye black, who just wiped her nose, 24 in white, Ella Grace Gee, and right below that Marian logo, has ripped off the last 2 goals for the Knights in the last 11 seconds of game time. First one in transition, and the second one off of a nice feed from Ruby Mason. And then Gee did the rest, and this Marian crowd is starting to get back to life here after Lawrence Tech had the Knights on their heels, scoring 2 goals in less than in almost the first 5 minutes of action here in the 3rd to cut that deficit to 1. But as we mentioned, Lawrence Tech has yet to lead here tonight. Their last tie, by the way, was at the 4.5-minute mark of the first, when Lowersey scored her first goal to tie this thing at 2. Van Zant to take the draw for Lawrence Tech. Colas back out there for Marian. As Van Zant called for the illegal procedure last time she locked up with Colas. Foster trying to get the ground ball here for LTU. It's in their attacking end of the field. And popped out of the scrum is Pellman, and another draw control here for the Blue Devils. They've won 11 of the 17 here tonight as Van Zant has been almost automatic here tonight for Lawrence Tech, the 3 seed. High pass, nice one-handed catch by Lowersey. And now Volley Gore at the controls here for Lawrence Tech. Wallenczak cuts through, and she's up top, 15 in blue. The WHAC Offensive Player of the Year got dinged up a little bit earlier in the quarter. She's got it here. Trying to get a step on Dean. Draws 3 different Marian defenders before dealing off to Durham. Williams bodies her up on the end line. Guerin, one defeated to Vanderswag, instead deals to the outside edge. Pass knocked down on the way there by the Marian defense. Still free inside the critical scoring area. Montez tried to get it away. Now she and Vanderswag lock up for it, and it's Vanderswag keeping it here for LTU with 5.5 and ticking here in the 3rd quarter. Lawrence Tech had cut the deficit to 1, but Gee scored back-to-back goals for Marian. The Knights have tied a game-high lead of 3 as we currently sit. Vanderswag looking into the setting sun. Tries to turn on Kircher, rolls away from a help defender. Got knocked down to the turf, able to get it off to Wallenczak. Fumbled it a little bit, and that allowed Dean to collapse onto her. Guerin on the outer edge of the critical scoring area. Shot clock down to 0, and the Knights force a possession clock violation for the first time tonight. Big time job there by one of the more elite defenses in the country, but they turn it away as Jones couldn't find Anaya Williams. A turnover and a failed clear here for Marian. As Lawrence Tech trying to breathe new life into their comeback effort. Williams trying to deny Lowersey a clean look back to the middle of the field. She jogs through X, looking for cutters, fires it up top to Vanderswag. Gives way to a wide open Wallenczak, who tried to go to the top shelf And Anaya Jones said no way. Olivia Dean pressing forward to Geed, who scored the last 2 Marian goals. Geed had some open space to her right, throws it back, threw it behind Coles. Montez with a nose for the ball, picks up the GB here for the Knights. Unfront Mason wide open, but then she was stopped by Gugala. The putback attempt from Mason rang off the outside of the post. An incredible save from Madison Gugala on a wide open Ruby Mason. And then the all-conference pick almost put the Knights ahead by 4 if it wasn't for the pesky post. Thomas with the pass behind Durham. 3:20 and counting here in this third quarter on the first Saturday in May. Guerin operating here for Lawrence Tech. Blue Devils have not scored in over 7 minutes. Trying to change that here. Wide open shot right to the cross as Jones able to turn away Volley Gora. And another outlet opportunity here. Here comes Olivia Dean. Up to Geed. Trying to catch Foster retreating. Geed working that left hand. Dumps off Mason. Rips it, but right into the chest of Gugala. Gugala might have taken that one off with a collarbone as she's smarting a little bit. As her Blue Devil teammates trying to get this clear to the other end. Lowersy settles behind, goal line extended. The Blue Devils had got the deficit down to 1, 4.5 minutes into this third quarter. Since then, it has been all Geed and Marian. As the Marian faithful down below us, stomping on the bleachers, shaking the press box, trying to get behind the Knight defense. Vanderswag looking for help, turns. Little pop pass in front, good find. Lowersy tried to go low to low for the 3rd time tonight, but she ripped that one wide. Quick restart here with about 100 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Volley Gora, Guerin, skip pass, too high for Vanderswag, but it's backed up by Wallensack. The conference's offensive player of the year has been limited tonight as the Blue Devils turn it over here once again. 17th giveaway tonight for the 3 seed. And the Knights recently have been really looking to push in transition. That's Montez's name of her game as she's just trying to weave through and trying to lose loosely. 70 seconds left to go in the third, and the Knights have one more offensive push. As the 2 clocks, game clock and possession clock, almost identical. With the possession clock just a couple of tenths slightly ahead of the game clock. So expect number 7 Marian just to run this thing down and essentially take the final shot here of our third quarter. Top seeded Knights won their first WHAC regular season championship outright after sharing it with Lawrence Tech and Indiana Tech a year ago. They try to make it back to the national tournament for just the 2nd time in program history by winning tonight's tournament title game. Less than 30 to play here in the third. Mason dancing, had two cutters, knocked out of the cross by Van Zander, then picks it up to boot. Good ride, though, from Mason, forcing the turnover. Couldn't pick it up cleanly as Gugala still sweeps it into the crease, and it goes on the outside of the cage. And with 5 seconds remaining in the third, Marian will gladly let Lawrence Tech hold on to this one. And they will start with the ball. Lawrence Tech will on their defensive end. But the Knights lead by 3 as we head to the final quarter of the 2026 WHAC Tournament Championship game. Winner onto the NAI National Tournament.
Merchants Bank is one of the nation's top performing banks. Take our fixed rate CD, for example. At 4.5 APY, it's a great way to earn a higher interest rate than you do with a traditional savings account. Merchants Bank makes it simple. What you see is what you get. A great rate. No gimmicks, no minimums, no hidden fees. Merchants Bank, one of the nation's top performing banks. Hop on over.
When you have back or neck pain, you'll try anything for relief. Anything.
Whoa! Honey?
Honey, it was mustard seed.
For real options, get your back in front of the spine experts at Ortho Indy. Ortho Indy Spine. This is your way back.
15 minutes away between Lawrence Tech or Marian advancing to the NAI National Tournament. That's a place that Lawrence Tech knows well. We mentioned earlier a national title in their program history back in 2023. 2 national runner-up finishes as well, led by the Hall of Famer Marian Meltzer. What does she have up her sleeve as she's in the middle of that Lawrence Tech huddle? The Blue Devils need 3 goals here in the third, trailing 9-6. As you get a look at Geed's hat trick tonight, she has a game-high 6 points. That was her first goal at the end of the second quarter. Then it was all rips tonight, all 3 of them. That one in transition, and then this one off the feed from Mason. Let me step in and burn the side of the cage to get my team back ahead by 3. In the biggest game of that young lady's career, she has answered the bell and then some tonight for the top-seeded Knights. 3 goals, 3 assists, 4 ground balls, 2 cost turnovers, and also 1 draw control as well for the fantastic Ella Grace Geed, as she scored on 3 of her 4 shots here tonight. So Lawrence Tech starts with their defensive end, the speedy McKenna Van Zant, leaving Knights in her wake. She takes it to the offensive end here for LTU, the 3 seed and the 10th ranked team in the country, clad in blue. Can they find some more offensive firepower like they did to start the third quarter? Even 7-on-7 here as we start the fourth quarter of play. Skip pass up top to Vanderswag. Lowersey looking for help. Finds it in Valigora. Her pass, though, intercepted by the netminder Jones. And here comes Marian in transition once again. Montez can feel the pressure coming from Pellman as she veers away. And the Knights answer the bell and answer the call here to start early on in the fourth. Knights in the home whites. Regular season Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference champs. First outright WHAC title in program history. They look for that second NAI tournament national bid. Bozeman, who's been quiet here in the second half. Around the corner, quiet no more as Bozeman gets her 3rd one of the night, and Marian takes a game-high lead of 4. Bozeman with the hesitation and goes right around Durham and tight ropes around the crease. Got to that left hand and pings the upper 90. So that is 3 in a row for Marian, their longest unanswered stretch of the night. Spanning the end of the third with Geed's pair and now Bozeman to start things off in the fourth. We go back to the draw circle once again. A matchup of 21s, Coles v. Van Zant. It's Van Zant and Lawrence Tech with another ground ball here from Foster. And it's keeping Lawrence Tech's hopes alive as they trail by that game-high margin of 4. But they've won 2/3 of our draws tonight, 12 of the 18. But can they figure out a way to get a clean shot against this pesky Marian defense? Tops in the conference in terms of goal, or fewest when it comes to goals allowed on the year. And it helps when you have the Defensive Player of the Year, Olivia Dean, taking on 2 Blue Devils on the far sideline. And the ball rolls out of play, and it will stay here with the Blue Devil offense. Pellman looking to the Marian zone D. Skip pass to Guerin on the edge. Behind goal line extended. Here to Audrey Durham. Wallensack. Quick deal to Pellman. Wallensack's become more of a facilitator here after dinging up her right leg, scoring that goal in the third. She's been held to just 1 goal tonight. Came in with 57 on the year to lead the conference. Off-ball cut there. Wallensack turns and shoots and missed wide of the cage. Vanderswag there to back it up for LTU with 13 on the possession timer. Wallensack has to go quick. Looking for a cutter. Couldn't get the cross-handed catch, was volley Gora. Guerin's shot off target. Knocked out of the air, and it'll be picked up by Sissel. Tried to pirouette between 2 Blue Devil defenders, and for her hard work, she has drawn a green card here against Lawrence Tech. Actually make it a yellow card, excuse me. And a 2-minute non-releasable here for Wallensack, the conference's Offensive Player of the Year. Second yellow card issued against a Blue Devil player tonight. That'll be a 2-minute non-releasable. But looking into the setting sun was Olivia Dean. She couldn't catch the pass cleanly, but picks it up. As the Knights trying to get the good clear here. Mason jostling for position. Geed, who's done a little bit of everything tonight, picks another ground ball here for the Knights' cause. And she'll draw a green card here against Audrey Durham. So that puts the Knights up 2 women here for about the next minute and change. Geed. Actually 2-1 up for the next minute, excuse me. Bozeman. Mason open, backhanded shovel shot goes wide, but a crafty idea there from the senior Ruby Mason. Backed up by the Blue Devils. They've got about 40 seconds left on the green card by Durham to try to burn off. So about a minute left to go on that yellow card by Wallensack. Marian has done incredible tonight to limit the Offensive Player of the Year in the WHAC Wallensack to just 1 goal here this evening. She's had 6 shots, but has not had a lot of clean looks at cage. Triple team trying to force the turnover on the far sideline was Marian. Almost every night on the far sideline, but the ball pops free. Look at Jada Taylor hustling back and picking the pocket of Lowersey. The Knights in transition. A 3-on-3, Geed to Mason. The Knights still back to a woman up as Audrey Durham's yellow card released. About 20 seconds or so left to go in the yellow card for Wallensack. How aggressive does Marian want to be? Leading by 4 as we approach the 10-minute mark of the 4th quarter here of the championship game. Card is released. We're back to even strength here with 10 and change to play in the conference title game. Newell from X. Knights knowing that the shot clock is their friend. Here is Geed was the intended target, deflected away from her, and here comes LTU on the clear attempt. Nice long-range pass from Gugala, and able to connect with Vanderswag. Mason there on her hip. Whistle blows. And a foul and a card. Cross-check will go against Ruby Mason. She'll sit for a minute on the green card. LTU a woman up here, but they have not scored on the power play yet this evening. And our officials stop the clock. And play resumes. Vanderswag spins. Pellman draws the eyes of 3 defenders. Couldn't spin away from trouble. Volley Goro looking for help. Back to Pellman. Had a teammate on her left-hand side in Lowersey, but couldn't get her to her clean. Walking the tightrope on the crease and putting it in is Allison Wallensack. So the conference's Offensive Player of the Year. See that big wrap on her right thigh. That's what has slowed her down considerably here in this third quarter. Takes the feet around the crease, able to find that little sliver of space, able to score on the van der Zwag assist. Third helper of the night for Jocelyn van der Zwag. Lawrence Tech has the deficit back down to 3. Coles back to the draw circle against Van Zant. She's been the real thorn in Van Zant's side. But Van Zant comes away with another one with the help of Pellman off the ground ball work. The Wallensack goal stops the 3 in a row, scored by Marian. 2 by Geet in the third, and then the 1 by Bozeman to start things here in the fourth. Lowersy from X. Lawrence Tech has the #1 offense in the entire WHAC. They have been held in check here tonight against the best defense in the conference. Low-to-low shot deflected and saved by Jones. Van der Zwag tried to make this a 2-goal deficit for LTU. And now the speedster Anaya Williams, freshman from the south side of Indianapolis and Southport High School. Low pass, almost turned over. Williams picks it up and it stays here with Marian as they continue to try to get the clear. Kircher rolls away from pressure and she'll use her netminder in Jones. Long range try, finds Montez on a jumping catch. And here comes the transition offense once again for Marian. Montez looking for trailers. Teased, letting one rip from the 8-meter fan. And with 43 seconds on the shot clock, Marian will try to take this thing down as close to 7 minutes of game time as possible. Nursing this 3-goal advantage here in the conference tournament championship game. Winner gets the automatic bid from the WHAC into the NAI National Tournament. The loser will have to sit on pins and needles and hope for an at-large bid next week. Montez inside the critical scoring area. Bozeman around the Geed screen. Good slide help from Foster. Shot clock at 14. Montez couldn't break through that last wall of LTU defense. And Gugala with the loose change, and she'll look to clear. Into the setting sun, able to make the catch, Sophia loosely for the Blue Devils. Up the field to Durham. Out of bounds, last touched by Lawrence Tech, and the Marian ride perfect here once again. That's turnover number 20 here for the 3-seed Blue Devils tonight. Bozeman to Montez. And the Knights quickly work it into their attacking end, and now they can just sit on these 73 seconds left to go here on the possession clock. 3-goal advantage here for the top seed Knights. A win would give them their first WHAC tournament championship in program history and their second bid to the national tournament, the first one coming back in 2019. Montez on the shot, backed up by Coles. One of the clocks was off, it looked like, and an 8-meter shot has been awarded here to Ruby Mason. Just the second one of the night here for Marian. Mason 3 for 6 on the season. Kick save and a beauty by Gugala. And here comes Lawrence Tech trying to push numbers the other way with a speedster in McKenna Van Zant, the transfer from Concordia University in Ann Arbor. After that university shut its doors at the end of last academic year. Wanted to skip it across to Van der Zwag. One of the Dean sisters got her stick on that pass and slowed down the LTU attack. Cutting across the middle of the field, Pellman shooting on the run, and there's Jones once again to turn LTU away. That one at the knees on a high to low attempt. And Jones able to stand her ground, making her 10th save of the night. Her 9th save of the night, excuse me. 5 minutes left to go here from Marian University. Geed, the all-time point producer, has the ball in her stick. Trying to lead her team to where a position it's never been before. WHAC tournament champions. Montez flips to the newcomer in Sissel. Lawrence Tech not pressing out even though they trail by 3. Dean on the off-ball cut. Couldn't guide it into the cross. Gee to back it up. Back in front to Dean, who tried a quick stick but lost her footing. Turns and looks as she got bonked on the head, and it'll be a free position here for Alex Dean. Not a lot of free position opportunities for either team here tonight. Foul goes against Carmen Foster. Dean 2 for 7 this season, and the free position shot was blocked on the way there. Nice job by the Blue Devil defense to collapse. But an errant pass. Olivia Dean couldn't get it away clean as she collided with Foster. And then Foster will be the guilty party here. A card coming out against her, as she took Olivia Dean right down to the turf. So a green card on Foster at the 3:52 mark of the fourth quarter. On the cross-check there from Foster. Knights back on the power play. They have the only woman-up goal tonight between these two teams. That was Mason's goal all the way back in the opening quarter. Vanderswag slides out and tries to slow down the speedster in Montez. Newell, so good at feeding in the semifinals, gives way here to Dean. Geed, red hot in the third quarter. Touch pass to Mason, and then reading it perfectly was Gugala. Mason went high to high. Gugala stood her ground and gets her 6th save of the night, and a key one there. As if LTU went down by 4 with 3 to go, the numbers just would not start to look in favor of the Blue Devils. Excellent ride here on the near sideline in front of their own bench. Here by the Marian Knights. Mason deflects the pass. Dean picks it up. But a timeout taken by the Hall of Famer Mary Ann Meltzer and Lawrence Tech right before the Blue Devils turned it over. 3 minutes and 1 second left to go in the fourth quarter of the WHAC Tournament Championship game. Marian leading by 3. Lawrence Tech with the ball when we come back here on the ISC Sports Network.
There's something that may surprise you about Marian University. It's not our Catholic faith or our Franciscan values. It's not our 5,000 students or our diversity. It's not Marian's championship athletics or our Indianapolis location. It's that Marian is home to Indiana's only college of osteopathic medicine. Marian, Indy's Catholic University.
Hey, grab me one too.
Coming out of the timeout, Lawrence Tech down by 3. They've outshot Marian tonight by 1. Shots on goal even at 16 apiece. Draw controls have been impeccable tonight here for LTU, winners of 13 of the 19. But they're a woman down here with 3 minutes and 1 second remaining in the fourth, as Marian trying to take this thing to the finish line and win their first WHAC tournament championship in program history and make their second ever bid in the national tournament of the NAIA. Molly Gore and LTU have other ideas, but they've got to start moving quick. Trailing by 3 with less than 3 to play, as we're back to even strength. Wallenczak, the conference's offensive player of the year, held in check tonight. Tried to feed it in front. This one intercepted by the netminder Jones, who has been great here in the fourth quarter, stopping Blue Devil shots and coming up with timely ground balls and interceptions like that one you just saw. Sissel leading the charge here for Marian, finds Alex Dean. Dean with open space in front. No one in blue trying to stop 6 in white. And with 2:12 left and about 66 seconds left on the possession clock, Marian can start to play keep away here. The top seed in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference tournament has lived up to the billing this year. Their lone loss on this field was to national champion, reigning national champion and #1 Benedictine. So trying to pick up their 8th home win of the year as Dean knifes away from Valigora. 100 seconds left here in the championship game. Montez has it knocked away, picked up by Mason. 90 seconds left in the 4th quarter, and Marian can start to feel it. Montez shoots, and that might be the final nail in the coffin as Montez scores, and the Knights lead by 4 with 85 seconds left to go. Beautiful pirouette by Esbady Montez, and her breakout sophomore season continues to be dazzling. A 4-goal lead with 85 seconds left as Marian trying to win their first ever WHAC tournament championship and put a bow on a fantastic 2026 campaign so far. Van Zandt, a must-win draw, and she does, picking it out of the air with one hand. Lawrence Tech has got to go fast, down by 4. Lowersey to the trailing Valigora. Had Vanderswag cutting, couldn't get it to her clean. Montez, a pest right there on the hip, high pass to Lowersey, she gathers it in. Extra step to greatness, weaving through the Marian defense, and she rings it off the post with a minute left to go in the 4th quarter. Marian leading by 4 here in the WHAC Tournament Championship game. Dean had to fight the setting sun. Now trying to fight the Blue Devil defenders. Geed has it. And now the all-time point producer for Marian women's lacrosse has got the championship on her stick, trying to burn out these last 30 seconds. Lawrence Tech now coming out to defend Newell as Geed cuts away to give her space. Newell gets bumped twice as she walks the tightrope on the top of the box. 7 seconds left, and the Marian Knights are going to check another thing off the to-do list in program history. For the first time, the Marian Knights are the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference tournament champions and are back in the national tournament for the 2nd time ever. The team celebrating over to our left, and here comes the coaching staff, headed up by 6th-year head coach Allie Stork-Sneed. A lot of happiness here on the Marian campus today. Commencement earlier. An incredible season for the 3-seed Lawrence Tech after dismantling the 2-seed Indiana Tech in the semis on Thursday. They'll have to wait and see if they get an at-large bid to the national tournament coming up next week. But the Marian Knights know their season will continue at the national level for the 2nd time ever. First time came back in 2019, and the Knights are back on the national stage for NAI women's lacrosse. 2 hat tricks today for Marian. Riley Bozeman had one. Ella Grace Geed was phenomenal. 6 points for her. 3 goals and 3 assists. As the 2 teams will shake hands here. And the other side note to all of this, as we mentioned, remember Lawrence Tech had beaten Marian all 4 times they had met in their program's history before this year. Marian won in overtime at Lawrence Tech. They won by 3 here in the regular season. They win by 4 here today to sweep all 3 matchups here in 2026 against Lawrence Tech, and the last one the sweetest, as the Knights will get some hardware. They got the regular season title trophy on Thursday in the semis. They'll get the tournament championship trophy here tonight. As Lawrence Tech, the Hall of Famer, Marian Meltzer giving a hug to Allie Stork-Snead, the back-to-back Conference Coach of the Year in the WHAC. See Jada Taylor there smiling and hugging her classmate Marissa Bardo. A tough year for Taylor. Moved to a new position this year as a defender after being a midfielder her first 3 seasons. Missed over a month and a half of the year. But has come back with a vengeance here in the conference tournament. And looks to be back to full song here as Allie Stork-Snead pumped, and she should be inside of that Marian huddle. The champions of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference in both the regular season and the tournament. We'll get some hardware here as you get a look at our post-game highlights here. Special thanks to our director tonight, Vince Morellas, our replay operator, Sean Walker. Camera operators were Elijah Mash, Greg Sharton, and Brian Herrero. Congratulations to the Marian Knights, the 2026 regular season and tournament champs in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. They're off to the national tournament coming up in a few weeks' time. Final score from the west side of Indy, Marian 11, Lawrence Tech 7. This has been a presentation of Marian Women's Lacrosse on the ISC Sports Network. My name is Rick Johnston. Have a great rest of your weekend.